The Job Pillars boardroom was full of the executive team and others as final preparations are made for the presentation to Acme Lasers. The usual suspects for this presentation are here. Marcia Wayne, CEO of Job Pillars, Jason Wayne, President, Alex Murphy, Chief Operations Officer, Iggy Engels, Head of IT, and Chase Harlowe, Senior Sales Representative. They are joined by Shane Linfield, Sales Manager, and outside sales consultant Hank Dickman. I just want this team to know that we're not out, not by a long ways, all right? And it sounds to me like a few mistakes were made at the last presentation that we can fix with this session, all right? You know that I like all of you and have the utmost respect for each of you. So, don't take this personally, but it sounds like you broke some of the key rules. Rule number 2, you didn't control the conversation. You let them ask all sorts of questions and get you on the ropes, right? So you have to get them to stop talking and start listening. And rule number 3, closing. Where was the closing? Who was closing? When were you closing? All sales calls are closing calls, and I don't think we were closing. I'm going to be looking for those skills today while we're rehearsing. I know you're going to do great.
Thank you, Hank. All right, we're going to treat this presentation to Acme Lasers as brand new rather than a do-over. The presentation materials, problem identification, financial impact, and technology solution are much clearer. Thanks to everyone on the team for their hard work. Chase, you are heading up the presentation, so let's run this as a dress rehearsal.
And thank you, Shane and Hank, for joining us to be our stand-ins for the Acme Lasers team.
Happy to help. I'm looking forward to the presentation.
And you know I just want to help in any way I can.
Before we get started, you all have the presentation, so does anyone have any questions?
I was wondering, I just checked our records recently, and it looks like, Hank, you reached out to Acme Lasers. What did you learn?
Not much. I mean, I just seeing if I could, dig around, find out anything that, might help in the presentation.
Who did you get a hold of, and what did they say?
I talked to Sue Mako. She's VP of HR. Yeah, and, we just, talked about issues that Acme Lasers is having and, general ideas around how we
Shane,
can help.
Did you get a chance to debrief that call and pass along the information to Chase?
I did not know about the call until just now.
Well, they just, there wasn't much to it, and I didn't get a chance to talk about it with Shane.
What would you have told Shane? And I mean specifically.
Well, I would have said that, Sue was concerned about outsourcing, that she felt like the numbers had to work, that, she's worried about culture, things like that.
You didn't think that a debrief of this information would have helped us? What did you tell her?
I told her that all of her questions would be answered in the meeting.
They would have been if we had known beforehand that these were her biggest concerns, which we didn't.
So, you reached out to a key prospect, talked to a VP who would be in the meeting, didn't tell anyone you were going to do it, and not only didn't get anything from it, but you didn't tell Shane afterwards. Oh, and you're an outside contractor with a confidentiality agreement.
Mr. Dickman, thank you for your services. You and Shane can excuse yourselves from this meeting. We'll rehearse on our own.
No, it's Shane, Jason. I mean, I only had Job Pillars' best interest in mind. I mean, I'm really helping a lot here. So come on, let's go through the rehearsal, and I'll show everyone how to really be effective.
I don't think so, Hank. But I'll give you some advice. Get legal counsel.
Legal counsel?
Well, we know where Sue got her information. I just don't know why.
Deal in the deal. She figured out that if we come in, she either loses power or gets moved out. I don't understand why Dickman torpedoed us.
Same. We win, he loses power or gets moved out, which should have happened a long time ago.
We can't worry about Hank now. We have to figure out what to do with our eel, Sue. Any ideas?
I guess my $5,000 answer is still off the table.
Okay, Eel Strategy 101. Yes, from the program. We can either maneuver to get her out of the meeting or decision. We can get a chorus of people to disagree with her from the rest of the table so her voice has less power. Or we can try to make friends and turn her into a supporter.
I think friendship is not possible. Hank probably poisoned her, and we don't have the time to turn that around.
How do you move someone off the buyer's table?
I can reach out to Bill, back channel, tell him that he and I have a lot to talk about and we are concerned about getting ambushed. He's smart. He'll know what I mean. Maybe he'll tell me something.
We're covering everything that she asked about, and Cole too. Technology, costs, outcomes, transitions, everything. I'm just worried about what else she might come up with.
This might be a dumb question, but what does she care the most about out of everything she asked for?
She wants to keep her job and control what she gets credit for.
I think we put an org chart in the presentation and a workflow diagram. We'll set it up so that she is at the top and the workflow goes by her to review. Day-to-day work will be Bill in the chart.
We have to get her neutralized in that meeting or we're going to lose. In the program, I connected to something he said. In the modern sale, the power to say no overcomes the power to say yes. She doesn't have to beat us to keep things the way they are. She just has to get it pushed back as a decision for later.
Let's meet this afternoon after Jason hopefully connects with Bill. We'll do our rehearsal then.
Jason, Marcia, Iggy, Alex, and Chase are already in discussion of their presentation tomorrow at Acme Lasers.
His exact words were, I don't think Sue's concerns are the concerns of everyone else, and they probably won't be how a relationship will be managed.
What the hell does that mean?
I think he was trying to tell me that Sue is not going to be in charge of this and not to focus on her.
Well, we have to focus on her if she's the one doing all of the talking and all of the asking.
I told him that we felt like she was in charge because she had the most questions and seemed to be in charge. He said he'll help us. He also said something I didn't expect. He said to focus on Cole and Angie.
Sounds like he said a lot. In my book, that puts him into a category of either a friendly buyer or a spy.
Well, he either really wants us to do well, or he's baiting us to really lose. After having spent time with him, I think he's in our corner. Okay, Chase, what do we do?
Did you get a hold of Cole?
Yeah. I don't think we'll be going golfing with him anytime soon. He's a little odd. Every time I asked him a question, he would ask me one instead of answering. Hard to figure out.
Anything we can use, or does Aunt Alex have to use her charm school training?
Guns, liquor, cigarettes, or a mafia hit?
You aren't off my list yet, Iggy. Don't take chances.
What did you get?
Well, Cole's a numbers guy. He wants a clear line of sight from what he spends with us to an increase in employee longevity. He seems to be a suspicious guy. The math has to work, and he has to see it. If we have fluff in this presentation, he won't listen to anything.
I think that we can make adjustments to the presentation that we have to answer Angie's and Cole's issues. Let's start from the third slide. What we know about you. That's mostly mine. Marcia, you're going to handle the numbers part of that.
I'll cover the baseline stats they have, comparison to market, available context with customers.
Probably a little odd for me to be on numbers, but I do the math all day long for tenure, cost of employees and benefits, so I'll cover the math on this part. Jason's up later.
We didn't do this last time, but each of you has to let me direct the meeting, or we'll get thrown off of our game. We have time, so the presentation is longer and has more of the statistics in it. I'm glad we did it that way. It will make Cole happy. Iggy, you have to break down their current system.
I actually have a pretty good picture of that. I talked to Angie, and the good news is that she doesn't hate me. I mean, she just wants to make certain that we can take on most of the transition work. Sounds like she's buried. Anyway, I'll talk about the difficulty of multiple platforms and disorganized logins and tracking.
The first part of the presentation sounds good. It's a bit of a repeat of the first time, but this time it's tighter and has more specifics. I want to jump into a change in the presentation. Instead of what we think we know about you, we're going to what we believe we know about the future.
That's Jason and me. I'll cover the 3-year tenure running down the drain, and Jason will cover the financial impact.
These guys are in trouble. Bill mentioned something about being behind schedule from production. That means skilled workers. If they are behind now, life will suck going forward. We did the modeling, and they will lose margin and market share.
I'll then take us into what we can do about it. This is the long part of the presentation. Alex, you'll be up.
I'll cover the centralization, the ease of use, happier elves make better presents, tell the story of John, and then we'll use Ben's story to show what a difficulty it is to work in a company whose employee adjunct benefits and work management is the problem.
Alex, you sound like a real HR executive. Who knew?
What can I say? I rise to the occasion.
Now comes the portal. I have a mock-up of the portal as if it was branded as the Acme Lasers Employee Concierge. I can go about 2 layers deep into each area of the portal before I have to stop. But an employee can go through comp, benefit choices, benefit status, time off, even doctor's appointments, garnishments, 401ks, doctors and plan.
Okay, Iggy, you have to slow down. Let me guide you to what to show in the portal, and I'll make certain that the conversation doesn't go past what we can show right now. Remember, don't just blast away on all that it can do. Let me set the pace.
Got it. But I'm telling you, it is going to friggin' blow them away. We're set up for the employee to trace their full history of everything in their medical records. ESOP stock participation, if they have that, and that's not even the best.
This is what I'm talking about, Iggy. You get so excited that you oversell instead of just solving. They'll ask questions and get engaged if you slow down and walk with them rather than sprinting way ahead of them.
I think I can help. I'll sit next to Iggy and help him stay focused.
Okay, I promise. I'll take your cues, Chase.
Now comes the bigger ask. I'm going to take them through the math. The equation runs out for 3 years. We have to have time to ramp up the program and train the people. The big benefits start in the second quarter of us working together and then grow in the third quarter and beyond. It winds up being very inexpensive.
We have to have a hook. We've used happy spouse, happy house. We can use it again. We need something to drive this home.
Jason, can you show that line of sight from money into tenure and their capacity?
It's almost there. I just need to tweak it to show the capacity issue. I would not have really thought about that as a coal issue if Bill hadn't said something.
Do we have this pitch built like a plan that they can show other people?
Yeah, we put it together as a leave-behind document. Covers all the key points, focuses on the money trail and the implementation cycle.
Okay, everyone remember, follow Chase's lead. Let Chase deflect Sue. I'll stay on Mark and keep him off his damn phone. Jason, sounds like you and Bill have a bromance going, so that'll be easy. Iggy, stick with Angie and stay in 3rd gear instead of 5th. Alex, don't smoke, don't drink, don't swear, and don't shoot anybody.
I clean up just fine. I've got 2 decades in this game on everyone else in this room. When you get lost, if I have to, I will bail you out.
Oh, we're ready. Let's go have some fun and help solve some big problems for Acme Lasers.
The sales team is sitting together at a local bar discussing the Acme Lasers presentation they just left. Shane has joined them.
That was so much fun. I could tell that Mark and Bill loved the wrap-up.
Happy spouse, happy house. It's catchy.
I knew he got it when he said to Bill, "This is Frank, exactly." Whoever Frank is, must be one of his best skill workers. Also, did you notice who was quiet as a little mouse?
Yeah, she was almost creepy quiet. No questions this time. She started to say something once. Cole grunted, and she just stopped.
That was a nice point in our favor. Okay, how long, Iggy, until it's ready to present internally before we can take it to Acme?
We still have to show how and make a presentation on that. I don't have it completed, but I'm close. I have to finish up the security piece of the employee access, stress tested, payroll and benefit access is done, opening screens and contacts
Iggy?
A week. Maybe 10 days.
So within the 90-day implementation cycle?
Yep.
Nice, Iggy. I know you'll get it done. We're good. You're off my kill list.
Thanks. I don't know what to say.
Iggy, you don't need to say anything. You just need to do your best and don't screw this up. I have a kill list, and I have a double kill list. If you didn't like the first, you'll hate the second.
The $50 a month per employee for a $30K reward gave him perspective, but he'll redo the math so that he can fight for a cheaper price. I'll help with that. What do we need to close this?
Well, he knows he has the problem that we helped him find. He has urgency for solving it because he now understands he's losing ground in his labor market. He's price qualified for the $50 a month per employee. He, and more importantly his team, believe our solution will work. We have a preliminary timeline as long as we complete the proposal and contract negotiations.
Nice. Those last two little things, proposal and contract, they seem a little big to me.
And that's why you're in charge of them.
Yeah, I had already guessed. Chase, you'll help me with a proposal? And I'll work with legal on the contract. Negotiations are a whole other part. We'll go into that later.
For our first bigger sale as a team, I say we celebrate. And by the way, we're going to do a lot more of this. So this is our new normal. Winning bigger sales.
Shane, I notice you're awfully quiet. What gives?
First, I appreciate being asked to the table after the pitch. Honestly, I'm looking forward to being on the team and landing bigger sales.
Great. You can help me figure out what to do with Washington Specialty Applications.
But Shane, what about Hank?
Hank? Hank who?
Shrimp and drinks all around.
We hope that you've enjoyed this program, Sales Tales of Chase Harlowe. Tune in for next season, Sales Tales of Chase Harlowe, Price Pressure.
Episode 10, Pick Your Poison. Sometimes when you do this, you have to look everybody in the eye. I mean, Chase has helped to win this, but now everybody else has to execute it. I always think about what do people think and say when the dog catches the car.
Well, and in addition to that, the challenge of now that we've won this contract, which they're very excited about, and can we deliver it, the big change that you also see is they're starting to see themselves as a group that can go hunt large deals. They're feeling confident in being able to turn the company around and understand the big problems they solve and the transformation. Now, as a team, they hunt as a team, they win as a team, and they can make that difference.
Next season, we're going to take Chase into a very different space, a very more uncomfortable space, a more challenging space. And it starts with the idea of what happens if you don't have a relationship with somebody like Mark and Marcia. What if we have to start at the very beginning? And how do we get in? And how does Chase then take the team through that similar but not exactly same sales process? Thanks for listening to the season of Big Sales Tales of Chase Harlowe, and we look forward to the next season.